sure. Do you want me to record?
Yes, please.
Yes. Hang on. Yeah, because you do yours, don't you? And I do this one. So, everything, of course it is, because we always sing everything is magic.
Everything is magic, magic, magic.
Tonight's theme or topic, what do you want to call the file?
Energies of now. Yeah, energies of now. They're a doozy. They're a doozy.
Right then. I'm ready. Poised, thumb on the start button. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, I'll do the countdown. I'll press start and then it's over to you.
Cool.
3, 2, 1.
And hello. It's me again, crazy woman. Yes. Energies of now. Okay. So there has been some solar stuff going on. I'm not going to talk about that a lot, but I was just looking at. I haven't watched the video yet. Stefan Burns has just put out a video talking about a shift in what did he call it? Oh my god! Like a big cosmic shift happening. Like this is sciencey stuff, yeah, not meta sciencey stuff, yeah. So that's going to be an interesting video to watch, and if it tallies up with what I'm going to say, I'm not going to eat my hat, but well, I'll do something anyway. But I can tell you something, and you guys might be experiencing this as well, because it's quite amazing actually how this so I'm going to go into the message, obviously, that keeps on coming up, and it's been coming up now this past week or so. Not that we weren't getting this message before, but it's ramping up. Yeah, there is something in the ether that will not lay down. Yeah, it will not go to bed. It keeps getting up and going, I'm still here. Yeah. So this is coming up in so at the moment we're watching Stargate, the original series, SG-1, and the message does come up in that show. Yeah, that's why I love sci-fi for divination. So what you can do if you love sci-fi and you love divination, what you can do is you can pick an episode. You don't have to do them in order. You can pick an episode and just say to yourself, right, I'm open to whatever messages are going to come to me. And then watch it with an open mind and you'll be amazed. The other way you can do it, which is really cool, is you can draw a few cards and ask a question about one of the characters in the show and then see what comes up in the show that tallies with the cards. That is quite an amazing thing to do as well. But anyway, I'm digressing. So messages. So it's coming up in the show that we're watching. It's coming up in things that we're observing even, which are, let's just say, it's almost like there's been a massive timeline shift. That's, it's things, some of the things we're observing are so the complete opposite of what they were. It's quite interesting. It's also coming up in talks that we're listening to. It's coming up in readings, because I do watch, there's a couple of people I watch, and it's almost word for word. Like I can watch two people's readings they're poles apart, yeah, but they're saying almost exactly the same thing, and that usually tallies with something I've got out of the cards on that day. So it is it's quite amazing actually. Pardon me. Now I am going to pull some cards later, but earlier on I pulled 3 Lenormand cards, and the one at the top, so the main energy, which is really mad because I wrote my notes and then I pulled the cards. is about cutting away or harvesting something. Yeah. So if you're cutting something away, and it's the scythe energy, you could also be harvesting something as you cut that thing away, which is interesting. And then we had the mask and the sun. So basically, what these three cards are saying is we are shedding those things, especially the masks that no longer serve us. Yeah. And that is replaced basically, because it's the sun card, with light and warmth. Yeah. And all that positive stuff that comes with the sun. So I was like, okay, so this is definitely the right thing to be talking about tonight. Anyway, so I've got lots of notes here. So one of the things that's been coming up in readings, in all these things that I've just spoken about, is and we know, if you've been on this journey, on this path of this spiritual path or this ascension path, whatever you want to call it, it's been quite long, quite windy. Sometimes you feel like you're going backwards when, in actual fact, you are going forwards, but it can feel like you're going backwards. It's been a journey of, has it always been a journey of alchemizing stuff? Maybe. I think you might have been doing it anyway and not actually realizing it. And then when you kind of say to yourself, okay, so I'm stepping up and doing this, then it's like all manner of shit starts to hit you. So this long and windy path that seems to have taken forever is actually beginning, if not already, it's beginning to straighten out. So what does that mean? That means that it's a shorter distance from A to B. So, okay, I've got a piece of paper here. So you've got a piece of paper. If you wind it around, that's quite a long distance. But the actual distance between this side and this side is actually quite short. So you can say it's like a wormhole. I like wormholes. Wormholes, cool. So instead of doing the windy road, you're actually going from one side to the other, which is actually a very short distance. That's kind of how I see that. So this windy path that is a bit knackering is actually starting to straighten out. What that also means is there will be less surprises jumping out of the windy path at you. Because if a path is winding, you can't always see what's around the corner, can you? So if it's beginning to straighten out, if not already, for anyone that's listening, then but you can see your ability to see clearer is tenfold what it was. Yeah. So that's the first bit. I have two sides of it's only a little flip notebook thing. I quite like those actually. Anyway, if you have ever been, and I hear people talking about this all the time, so if you've ever been considered to be a black sheep or the odd one out, you didn't fit in, all that stuff that everyone talks about, you might at some point in your journey felt like you were under attack. Now, just to put one thing straight, I don't really subscribe to the idea of psychic attack, because as a being, of light, if you like, in a physical body, you are in charge of this whole thing. No one else is. So the only real way that anything, any person, place or thing can actually get in, if you like, is if you say, yes, I subscribe to that. I believe that that can happen. Because if you don't subscribe to it, then you're not going to get those announcements, are you, basically? let's call it that. But what can happen, and I know quite a few people who have experienced this, is things happen like people stop talking to you, or you say hello to someone and they just walk past like they haven't even seen you. Yeah, that's quite a weird one. And that can feel like an attack. Yeah. So one of the things that is coming up is if you have been experiencing that kind of behavior from people, which is extremely rude, extraordinarily rude. Yes. Yeah. Even if you don't like the person, just say hi. They say hello, say hi back. You might not like them, but it's manners, isn't it? Anyway, I digress. So what is coming up in all these messages is there is literally justice being served. So whether that is, and weirdly, I had a dream about this the other night. My very strange and aggressive downstairs neighbour just disappeared. She disappeared in my dream. Literally. 1 minute she was there, next minute she was gone. Everything of hers was gone. It's like, oh, I wish. Anyway, so in a sense, and that's the other place it's coming up in dreams. So you might have even had that experience of having dreams about this stuff I'm talking about. So there is if you like, there's an outcome to all these things that you've been through, all these things that you've experienced that have been extraordinarily unpleasant. Yeah. There is a light, literally a light at the end of that very dark tunnel. Yeah. There is a light now. Don't know what that light is going to manifest as. But there's one of the things, I don't know if I've actually written this down. Did I write it down? Yes. I'll talk about the cycle in a minute. But there is definitely an ending to this very dense stuff that we have been managing. Let's call it managing, shall we? Like a manager. Okay. The other thing, so if you've been experiencing this, I would love to know. I've sort of been, there's been something happening in terms of spirit and an ancestor. Sometimes it shows up as my old dog when I was a child. Sometimes it's my mum. So I'm not entirely sure. I'm putting it out there to get some answers. But what keeps coming up is there is an ancestor spirit, probably female, but it's not 100%, which has been trying to guide you, has been trying to kind of nudge you in the direction that you need to be in order to fully realize, it's that self-realization, to fully realize who you truly are. And this spirit would have been some kind of magic worker, a witch or a shaman, something like that, yeah, who knew how magic works, yeah. works, present tense. And they've been holding off, because what's really weird about, not weird, or weird with a Y maybe, is none of my family, none of them on either side had, as far as I'm aware, if they did, they never spoke about it. They never had any kind of practice that would be considered magic. None of them. Zero. Yeah. And it took me a long time to actually gather the courage to actually step into that. So this ancestral spirit has been waiting, and you might be feeling this, has been waiting for you to incarnate, and then the right time along your linear timeline to, knock, knock, hello, I'm here. So you might be experiencing that. Like I say, there's been a few things, but nothing completely concrete. Aside from that feeling of being guided on the synchromistic path. So the other thing is a few more things. So the other very, very clear, and even in a reading, it repeats itself in a reading, which is quite amazing. So the turnaround, actually, let me talk about the cycle first. So if you've been feeling blah, that's a technical term for, kind of that flat line, if you like, or the no energy, all that kind of stuff. This is an end. There's an end of a cycle that is, if not already done, is imminent. It's literally I would say 99.9% of the way to this cycle ending. Yeah. And what will happen when that cycle ends, your creative spark will be relit. Which, and again, that's one that keeps coming up, repeating in a reading. But the add-on to that is when this turnaround happens, when it comes, which is going to be sooner rather than later, things will happen very quickly. It will be a succession. And how do I know that? Because when Ian went through his health thing last year, that's how it happened. It was very quick. It was very, very smooth in its, what's the word I'm looking for? In its manifestation, if you like, in its execution of. And it was very obvious that this was completely out of our hands, and it wasn't even in the hands of the so-called NHS. Yeah, this was in the hands of spirit. It was driving the bus. Yeah, so I know I think I spoke about this last week, maybe, I can't remember. I know what that feels like. I know what it looks like. So this turnaround, when it comes, is going to be very quick, and it's like a succession of things that follow each other that accelerate you on your path, on this straightened out path, nonetheless. Because if you're going full pelt down a windy path, then you could have an accident. But if you're going full pelt down a straight path, you're less likely to have an accident. Yeah, makes sense, doesn't it? That this path is clearing and straightening out. And it will. I guarantee you, when that happens, you'll go, oh my freaking what's-its. Hold on to your bottom, because it literally picks you up and whooshes you. That's the only way I can describe it. So one of the other things that comes in is this big movement. There's large movement happening. Yeah, big changes. Abundance of all things. Okay, I'm going to change that. Abundance of the things that align with who you truly are. That's probably how I'd say it. And what I am the reason I wanted to talk about this, I suppose, is because I'm seeing these messages all over the place. Yeah. I am suggesting that this is a collective energy. It's not just something that myself and Ian are experiencing, because when you really think about it, if you're watching a show and it's giving you the same messages that you've just picked up in your cards, and then you hear someone talking about it and they're saying the same thing, what that really is, it's an aspect of yourself kind of repeating back what you're experiencing. I don't know if that makes sense. In your bubble, it's not a mirror. That's one for another time. So I think this is a collective energy. So what we can do, actually, so I'm not going to draw any cards just yet, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw it open and see if anyone has been experiencing these things that I've been waffling on about. Anybody?
Well, when you were talking earlier, a few minutes ago, about how you are responsible for what you let into you, because this is your body, you're in control. Totally, absolutely, 100% agree with that. It's like having your own force field. So
absolutely.
If you do have this sort of psychic attack, if you've got a repellent energy force that doesn't acknowledge it, then it can't be penetrated. So therefore, it just disappears. It's not a...
Absolutely.
It doesn't get through.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And the other one is that, for me personally, I've always known that my life has got certain changes that will come. And I can't explain how I know. I just instinctively know that, for example, I've mentioned this before, I always knew that when I was 34, my life would change. It would change fundamentally from what it was before. It would be a complete flip reversal.
Wow.
And it did. Now, I didn't sort of get towards that age thinking, oh, I'm going to manifest something now that's going to make it, or I'm going to manipulate something now that's going to change my life. I just let it flow, because that's what I've always done.
Yeah.
And then reflect. And it was like, wow, yeah, I let it flow. Circumstances came, opportunities came. I'd made one decision, then the next, and the next, and the next, and so on. And then I look back and I thought, wow, you know what? My life did change when I was 34.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing throughout my life. That it's like, I don't know whether you call it a guardian angel or whether you call whatever you want to call it, but there are certain circumstances throughout my childhood that if I'd have been 1 inch to the left or a foot to the right, I would be dead.
Yeah.
Many times.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that completely.
And it's really freaky in the sense that it's like, wow, is it just me, or are other people experiencing this? And then when you come to try and talk about it out loud like this,
yeah,
you hear yourself say these words that have been going around inside your head, and it makes sense inside your head, but as soon as you form words to describe, you think, that doesn't sound right.
Well, I can tell you now, it sounds perfectly right, because I completely understand that, because I've, yeah, quite a few times in my childhood and when I was older, you know, if I'd have been like 2 seconds, you know, like out of that particular moment in time, goner.
Yeah.
And it does, it makes you think, flipping heck, you know, someone, as we say, someone must be looking out for me, and that would be your spirit guides.
Well, this is it. But when you're young and you don't know about these things, you wonder what you know, is it real? So I always I used to, and I still do, but not as much. But I used to make mental notes and think to myself, right, I'll see what happens when I am 34, or when I'm 40, or when I'm 50, and, you know, and all these different things. So, and then on the other hand, I would also wonder, you know, where will I be when I'm 30? What will I be doing when I'm 40? You know, where will I be living when I'm 50? You know, what will I be getting up to when I'm 60, 70, and, you know, and 80? And it's like, because the other thing as well is what part of one of these, I don't know whether they call them premonitions or instinctive knowings.
Yeah.
I don't know what the phrase is, but it's like, I know I'm going to live till I'm 80 at least. And because I know that the things that I've come to trust in the instinctive nature of them is because I know they've come true in the past. The things that I've known about the future have come to pass. So it's like, wow. So yeah, so if I'm feeling about that, and that came true, and then that came true, and that came true, then that's going to come true in the future. Yet to come.
Absolutely.
So, anyway, that's my little bit.
And I guess the more times it happens, Andy, the more like we trust in that as well, don't we?
Yes, exactly. So as I've got older and reflected back on these rememberings, it's like, that came true, and the more that they happen, like you say, then you begin to trust them more. And, it's weird with a Y, I think.
So, did anyone want? Oh,
yeah, I haven't got anything like shattering to say, but I think we might have had the conversation last weekend. I'm not sure. We were talking about, because you're talking about things happening soon, and I think we were having the conversation about time, you know, and how it's speeding up and slowing down. And I did have a conversation with a friend about this week about that, and we've been both saying the same things, like sometimes it's going so fast, like grief, you know, in May, and other times an hour can feel like 3 hours. So yeah, very strange. And the other thing I will say is I just got those the Green Witch Oracle cards, and the one that I drew today was Salt, which of course is all about protection, and you were just talking earlier about protection, and so that kind of made me smile.
Cool. Okay, so as this is about the energies of now, let me just grab another deck. Oh, let's have Astro. Oh, no, not those. Let's not have those. Okay, let's go with these. Right. So, what I'm going to do, get them out of the box. Okay, who would like me to pull? I can either pull an oracle. I've got a couple of oracle decks here, or I can pull you a tarot card or a Lenormand card for the energies of now. Oh, one's just fallen out. It's the Violet Flame. Oh my giddy aunt. And she's not that giddy really. This is the Violet Flames. This is all about transmutation. So there we go. There's the Merkaba. Oh, what's going on there? That's weird. So we've got transmutation, detoxification, psychic vision. Yeah, that says it all, really, doesn't it? Would anyone like a card?
Yes, please, Andy, do one for me, or two, whatever comes out.
Okay, let's go.
Now.
What's going on now? What's going on now? Whoops.
Andy, I just realised it's you who put that gif up of the violet flame. I've been looking at there's only cards that are like 3D or 5D.
Oh, now wouldn't that be cool?
Wouldn't that be amazing?
It would.
It's like there was an episode of SG1 that we were watching, and I just thought, I had a mad thought. Wouldn't it be really cool to create a black scrying mirror that moved? So the middle of it moved. You'd have to sandwich something between two bits of glass, but wouldn't it be amazing if it actually moved?
Yeah.
That would be very cool, wouldn't it? I have no idea how I would do that. Okay.
I don't know if you've seen it, but Jackie's just put up a message because she's stopping for petrol, but she would like you to draw a card for her as well.
Okay. Right, Andy, we have, these are beautiful cards. These are, what are they? They are the Spirit of the Animals Oracle. So let me post this up for you. So this is the sea otter. Let me just get a picture. Who knew that there were such things as sea otters? So it says, be the master of playful living. Release expectations and enjoy every day. Let worry go and instead choose love, surrender to the waves. Your good destiny is of love is sure.
Pretty much sums up my life at the moment.
That's very cool. I like that.
It's interesting that the sea otters, in the sense that the water-based animals, because my two spirit animals is a hippopotamus and a pig.
Oh wow!
Obviously, a hippo is a water horse buffalo type of thing, isn't it? So it's interesting that it's a water-based animal, like a sea otter.
Yeah. And I've also pulled a Lenormand card, which is time. Now that's really interesting because it says in your other card, it doesn't say the word time, but it's basically, this is the time to play.
Which is, I'm just enjoying it, having fun, not taking it too seriously, because who knows what's around the next corner. This is the thing.
Well, when your path straightens out, you won't need to see around the corners.
Well, this is the thing. I've had, other than the fact that I know that I'm going to live till I'm 80, at least, I've got no other things between 50 and 80. So it's an open book. I've got no inklings that something's going to happen when I'm 60 or 65 and so on. So from 50, that was the big, I want the life I want, and I've got the life that I want.
There you go.
Being 50. So, and the reason why I've got the life that I want happened when I was 50, and I knew that was going to happen when I was 50.
That's funny. That's really cool. Okay.
Thank you for that.
That's all right. Oh. So, Jackie, we have, this is from the Sacred Light Oracle. So, let me get a picture. So we have well-being, and we have Lenormand card, the letter. So I think your energies of now, Jackie, you're going to get an invite to some kind of event, whether you're a participant, like someone who's going there to experience something, or whether you're someone giving the experience. I would say you're there because it says service to spirit. I think you're getting an invite to have a stall at one of these type of events. That's what I'm seeing here. Let me know what you think, Jackie, because that's very clear. There's an invitation that's waiting for you. I love it. Anybody else? What a card, or two, or three?
Yeah, go on. You choose.
Okay. That's all right.
I'm actually driving. I've got an invite coming. I'll let you know.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Quite liking the Lenormand at the moment. So there we go. Wow. So we have the elk. Let me take a picture of that. Lovely card. And I know it's not a deer. There were actually stags when we went to Knoll Park.
Yes.
So this looks a bit like a stag. It's an elk, but you know, I'm sure the elk's not going to go, don't call me a stag, yeah, I'm an elk. Sure, he's not going to have a problem with me likening him to a stag. So what we have here,
that's amazing.
The elk. Celebrate your accomplishments with humility. You are crowned with success. Powerful forces guide you. Oh my God, what did we just talk about? Your ability to conquer challenges is limitless. And then you have the compass. So that's, you know, where's your true north, Val? So if you haven't had an ancestor spirit trying to contact you, if you've not been aware of it, maybe put it out there.
Okay, yeah.
Because if powerful forces are guiding you, if you can actually ask them to show themselves, then they can help you more, is what I would say. And yeah, that's amazing with the compass. Wow.
Beautiful cards, beautiful. Thank you.
Oh, wow. That's so cool. I love it. Anyone else? Any more for any more? Okay. If no one else wants me to draw a card, I'm going to do one for the group.
Yeah, we're doing it, God.
Didn't hear that. Sorry. I'm shouting. Sorry.
I said, yeah, go on, I'll do. And then what are we, like, I just joined you guys, so what are we doing?
It's the energies of now. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. So we have, okay. Oh, okay. So we have magical alchemy, which I will take a picture of.
Sounds good.
So it's kind of self-explanatory.
Mm-hmm.
And weirdly, it's got like a, I don't know what you call that behind him, but it looks like it looks like the charts that you do. That's really mad. And then we have the cross. So some people see the cross in Lenormand as a burden, but it can also mean like your calling, your duty. So magical alchemy is all about innovation, ingenuity, curiosity, and being ahead of your time. So it is your duty, Litmus, to be ahead of your time, even if there are doubters. It's your duty. It's your calling, if you like, to not listen to that, to stick with your magical alchemy and what you do. There we go. That's the energy of now. So I don't know if you've been experiencing any kind of any doubters. Sorry?
I love the cards. I love those cards because the first one, obviously, Magical Alchemy, and he's got all the planets and symbols on the back there, as you say, on the circular diagram. Yeah, which is, of course, what I do. And I'm particularly interested in the crosses there because these days in the Risings, I've been reading the New Testament again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go then.
I read Matthew and I'm reading Mark at the moment, and I read a bit of Revelations, and so that, yeah, it's been good catching up with the old Joshua Geezer, you know.
So there you go. That's perfect.
Yeah. And of course, being ahead of my time could be something like having my own calendar, you know.
Yep.
Not being distracted by the doubters.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
I will do your calendar soon, by the way, okay?
Sorry?
I will get round to your calendar soon.
That's okay. There's no rush.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. We got the rest of our lives.
Absolutely. I'm going to be around for at least 120 years.
Oh, okay. Is that all?
Yep. At least.
Yeah. I've been saying for maybe 20 years now that I'm going for 159.
Oh, cool. That's cool.
I think if you believe it, and that's it, happen, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we were saying earlier. You know, if you fully embody who you are and you fully embrace that, then yeah, anything's possible. Absolutely.
Excellent stuff, Ange.
Absolutely.
Angie, just
Yep.
a funny bit of synchronicity. So there was something you said about things speeding up or things happening, and I was thinking, oh yeah, they're choosing the Pope, right? And then I got a message from my friend to say they've chosen the Pope, he's an American, and then you drew that cross card for me.
Oh wow, that's very cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Because it's a very Christian cross, isn't it? Sorry?
We got an American Pope.
Yeah, American Pope, Kevin.
Wow.
Oh my God, what's the world coming to?
That's pretty bonkers, isn't it?
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah,
Wow.
we're really sorry you're doing people.
Wow. That's mad. Kevin, did you want to say something? You got your hand up. I don't know how to do that on here, you know. It's really weird.
Oh, hi, Angie. Yeah, Pope Leo, what's his name? Oh, yeah, but he's...
Pope Leo, what's his name? I like that.
Well, I
Who's that bloke?
What's his name? No, when I heard he was from Chicago, I said, he's going to be Pope Alfonso Capo. Like, sort of like Alfonso Capone, you know?
All right.
Yeah, nice one, man.
Babylon. Chicago is Babylon, so it's all a facade. It's all a
It's all a show.
charade.
It's all a show.
Maybe he'll do some singing like Frank Sinatra as well.
That'd be mad, wouldn't it?
Imagine that. Pope just suddenly does this.
As long as you don't start dancing as well, then that's fine.
He's the dancing Pope, and when he goes in the bath, he's got a soap on a rope.
As opposed to a pope on a rope.
The last Pope will dance with the last king. And then they'll all fall down with DC.
DC, is that some kind of disease?
District in Columbia.
Right, I've pulled two cards.
Okay. I'll shut up now.
That's all right. Right, I pulled two cards for the group as well. Which is weird because it's house and garden. Or home and garden. So that's your inner world and your outer world, yeah, in balance. So get your inner world and your outer world in balance for this quickening that is happening, yeah, this cycle that is ending. And yeah, these if you're open to ancestral spirits trying to help with that, what are ways that you can connect with that? Well, you can set up an altar if you wanted to, with pictures and objects that belonged once to your ancestors. You can light a candle for them. You can offer them food. I mean, we don't drink, but you can also offer them alcohol. Yeah. So but you can just ask them. You know, just ask them to come forward and help you with this crazy bit of the last bit of the first bit of the journey. That makes sense.
Hey, Ange, what's the number of spades on the card on the second one? Because there's like a flashlight or something on. I can't make it out.
On the two that I've just posted.
Yeah, I can see on the first one it's the 8 of spades, right?
8 of spades and the King of Hearts.
The second one's the King of Hearts?
Yeah, the house, yeah, is the King of Hearts.
Okay, King of Hearts, right. So, Swords is first deacon of Gemini. Anyone's got their birthday then? That would be like May 21st to like June 1st kind of time.
Not me.
No, okay, just wondering.
Not me neither.
No, we know when your birthday is.
Not me, I'm a
Yeah, we know we got a Taurian. I'm a Gemini, but I'm last deacon. Yeah, so no one in the first deacon. Okay, just wondered.
Why's that?
Well, because it's the 8 of spades, which is the 8 of swords, which corresponds to the first deacon of Gemini in the